Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Formula 3 League for the iRacing side. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be one of your commentators throughout this evening's race. Joining me in the commentary box this time, defecting over from the GTE side, oh, thank you, Windows notifications, I forget about you every week, is the lovely, wonderful StevieSQ.
Hello, folks. I'm back for one round only, I think. As the normal co-commentator you're used to, Simon, is unavailable this week, so I decided to hop in and make it be known that I am always here. Rather than looking in the chat, I'm in the box. But yeah, we're at Watkins Glen time. These cars, I suspect, are going to be pretty quick around here. I did just see at the start of qualifying, Rennie Osterkamp coming out of the pit lane and doing a little weave to get some heat in his tyres, and he stacked it in the wall before he even got to turn 2.
It's not very warm out there. It's only 19 degrees, so that could be a bit of an issue for our drivers whilst they continue with their qualifying sessions. Let's have a look at where we stand with the championship. Paul Elbring still holding a lead, but that lead has dropped a bit after a not quite so good a run last week for Paul. Still from Mr. Fassbender and Osterkamp, second and third. Then Reed, Herman, Holstein, Kessler, Ryan, Summers, Martinson will round out the top 10. In the team standings, Radicals Online still holding a comparatively slim lead. Wow, Rennie, that's very wide at turn 1. Then it is the 3 SimRC teams, SimRC, and then Solo and the Dolphin, then Comrade, then the 3 AOR teams, orange, yellow and blue in that order, and then the 2 SimSport News teams rounding out the top 10 there. No times yet on the board, but everybody except Knut Martinson, strangely, out on track. 17 drivers join us for this evening's race. Not sure oh no, never mind, he's out there now.
He's having the slowest pit lane exit ever. Now, I've heard that about drivers going slowly to keep pressure, to keep gripping the tyres. I think that's a little extreme. You want to go a little bit quicker than that. But hey, who am I to say? He beats me in everything we ever raced. So he's probably more of aware than what I am. But we are getting times coming in now. Kessler up top at the minute.
He is indeed. David Butler was the first to put a time on the board. 136.7 immediately beaten by Mr. Kessler for SMRC 135.783. Still 6 and a bit minutes remaining of the qualifying session, and unsurprising, there's Paul Elbrink, who has just jumped up to the top with the 35.1. Looks like they can use a fair amount of off track there at turn 1.
Yep, turn 1 you pretty much can go as wide as you like. However, there is a small piece of grass, and if you're not back on the track before you hit the grass, you will get an off track, and I think even a slowdown. As far as I'm aware, I think this track is actually pretty lenient on track, on off tracks. The inner loop chicane at corner 5A, which is always infuriating to have a number and a letter. Even more annoying that 5A comes before 5, but nevertheless. Yes, I think that's quite strict on off tracks.
Your OCD is going nuts on that.
It has always bothered me.
Might it be that the inner loop was put in after the circuit was built?
That's not a good enough reason.
Well, that I suspect is the reason, whether you like it or not.
When you build a row of houses and there's a gap and you put a new house in later, you don't go 1, 3, 5, 9, 7, 7. Keep going to the end and then add another number at the end in the middle. You just don't do it. Point is, this track is not too bad on. It's quite bad, I think, on some corners. The other one, you've got me confused. You got me ranting. This track is not too bad on track limits because where there is runoff, you can use it. I think certainly you can at turn 1. But everywhere else there are barriers, and there are some pretty mean curbs around here that you generally don't want to be on.
Paul Ilbring getting into the sub 135s with that 34.979. Second is Mr. Ostkamp coming around to complete his, what I think is third lap. Does he improve? He does, but Mr. Fastbender improves by further. 135.387. 4/10 of a second in Mr. Ilbring's favour. Wow, that's a huge gap in this league.
Yeah, in a series where it is a back chassis and not a huge amount you could do on the setups, that's a big one. Especially when you consider that there are, according to the track map, only 11 and A corners.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
No.
Yeah. Few people have done their laps. Marvin Sluman is back in the pits. He will start no higher than 15th with a 36.8. David Butelau is done with a 36.7. He's back to pits. Charlie Summers in 6th now. Kessler is done as well. He will start no higher than 4th with a 35.5. Everyone else seems to be still going from what I can see. Canoe Martinson, the only person not to get a time on the board. Just as I say that.
He's just done one. He's just popped into 12th place with a 136.343.
He did indeed.
Which is interesting because he's 1.364 off the pole. There's many 1s and 3s and 6s.
I was just thinking that, yeah. 1.364 off the pole and 0.164 off the next person, which is Luke Barton. And Paul Ilbring's improved on his time again.
Yeah, he's now over half a second quicker than second place.
Which is Marcel Fassbender. I mean, my goodness me.
And Marcel did improve. He's brought the gap under a half a second, but
barely. By 17 thousandths has he done that. So 135.326 is as good as Fassbender. Wow.
Rene's abandoned his final lap as well. He's coming to the pits.
Yeah, he's coming to the pits. Yeah. What's Herman doing? Herman's just crossed the line. 35.4. He's up to third. Wow. It's not usually it's Rene and Marcel close to each other, but Stefan split those two as the lap's coming to an end. Up, Phil Reed is still out there. Oh, he's run wide a few times. He got 5 incident points on the board for his qualifying run. 35.647. His best that puts him 9th, and no, he's dropped that one. What about Canute? He's just finishing a lap.
Yeah, he should have at least one. This one and one more, maybe.
He'll have time for it.
Yep, that was his second lap.
36.1. That's up another one, so it's 11th. He's usurped his teammate Evan Imre.
There you go. See how wide he went, but he got back on crucially just before
the
very
grass.
Harsh bit of grass. That's where you get the off track. Somebody has to be careful at turn 1 as well in the race.
Let's ride on board for the remainder of the lap with Canoe Martinson. Then he's on the back straight, just comes through the S's, turns 2, 3 and 4. We'll be coming up to the inner loop. Absolutely foot down to the floor, nothing left in the car to give. Sweeps through, little bit of a slide coming through the inner loop, but nothing too bad. Remains in 5th and powers through the outer loop, even up into 6th gear. This is how much grip these cars have. Oh, little cautious as you come on the exit of 5, now through the chute, and 6. On the power, nice and early, smooth driving input as he comes down the hill. Now the toe, turn 7. Very late on the brakes, doesn't want to get too close to that apex because that is a very steep apex turn there. Will spit the car out quite nicely. David Butelau is back out on track, but I don't think he's going to be able to set a time, or not improve at least, into turn 8, otherwise known as the heel. Don't want too wide, it's very easy to do, it's a little bumpy through there. And then into turn 9, which gets very bumpy as you'll see the chassis and the suspension moving around quite a lot there. Over to the right hand side for the sweep of turn 10. No lift at all, the merest of lifts if any. Now turn 11, just down 1 gear. Use as much of the runoff as you dare. The barrier's waiting for you. Does he improve? The line is quite a way down the road. He does indeed. 136.017, just 3 thousandths off the back of Erka Lindström. Nicely done, and puts Canute in 11th. And that will conclude our qualifying.
We've also had a comment from the chat that I think your overlay is slightly out of the realms of...
Yeah, I know what I've done there. Sorry.
Well, there you fix that. I'll go through the grid.
Oh, no, I fixed it. So, our grid is Ilbrink, Fassbender, Herman, Osterkamp, Kessler, Barton, Ryan, Summers, Reed, Lindstrom, Martinson, Morris, Imre, Bennett, Dove, Butelar, Waldo, and Sluman. Yes, I know what I'd done. I'd left it set up for the video intro that we did. I hadn't forgotten to change it back. Okay.
So
yes, everybody grids up.
This track is generally a bit of a draft train. Slipstreaming is hugely powerful here. So that's something you have to watch out for. There should be probably a lot of passing and unpassing and repassing. I don't know what unpassing is, but you know. Repassing and it should be very difficult, hopefully, to break away from a train. So that gap we saw from Paul Ilbrink in qualifying, hopefully, will be harder for him to replicate in the race, because we would like to see a close fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, these cars will spend quite a lot of time at full crank, so that they'll get up to their top speed, particularly in slipstream, very quickly. So this is going to be certainly a race for those that are good at defending.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be one of a bit of both, to be honest. Of course, just got to be careful at the start, because turn one, as you said, you can run wide. It's a little bumpy out there, though, and it's very easy to drop the car, and you don't want to... If you go wide off the track, you're no longer on the track, and you're therefore not really... It's harder for the cars on the track to leave you space if you're trying to rejoin. So it can sometimes cause issues, this circuit can. But we'll see what happens.
Indeed. Just waiting for 2 more cars to grid up, and then we will get this feature race underway. 26 laps, and looks like we are good to go. Here are the lights. Here we go. It is time to wind them up and let them go. A cracking start then from Ilbrink, and also the second row of, I think it was Marcel Patrick that was right behind him. Into turn 1 they come as the numbers start to sort themselves out. Let's see who's going to come. Whoa! There was a big wobble there from, I believe it was Charlie Summers. Phil Reed's in trouble. Whoa, look at that. Phil Reed's had a terrible run through turn 1, being swamped by everybody coming side by side up the hill. And it looked like the couple of CMRC guys are getting very close. That's Kessler and Rene Osterkamp side by side. A 3-wide ride behind them of Conor Ryan, Charlie Summers and Erka Lindstrom. Let's see if we can get on the blimp cam. Yep. That shows quite a lot of side-by-sides. Looks like everybody's made it through. No huge gaps. Any major incidents you notice? Oh, Luke Barton. Luke Barton, just as I said that, has had a problem and fallen right the way to the back. But look at Ilbrink. He's already built up half a second on Marcel Fassbender.
Yeah, Luke got a little bit side-by-side with Knut Martinson through the inner loop, and he ended up on the grass, and then he rejoined and hit a bump, and it locked up and got sideways, and now he's got a slightly damaged front wing. So he's going to struggle a little bit with that. I'm not, to be honest, too sure how these cars handle with damage and how much it affects, because I've not really driven it in a race situation. But he's still going, he's still in the race, so we'll see what he can do from here.
Indeed, there is the view from Rene Osterkamp. He's the tail of that 5-car train, which is very rare to find Rene Osterkamp at the tail of a train. Bit of a gap forming from Stefan Herman to Marcel Fassbender, second to third, as that is around about a second. It's actually over a second now between Marcel and Stefan. Oh, Phil Reed's in.
As is Alex Bennett. So I wonder if Phil picked up damage or something with whatever he did.
Oh dear.
But we've seen this before from a few drivers. Marvin Sluman is probably one of them that normally does it as well. The first lap pit, get your mandatory pit stop in, out the way, get out there and do your laps. So yeah, we'll see what these drivers can do.
Here comes Fassbender. Fassbender for the lead as Ilbrink dives on the inside to defend that inside line coming into the inner loop. No good, because Fassbender's already got the move done and up into the lead for the SimRC driver. But look at the gap between Ilbrink and Herman. That is pretty impressive. All 3 of our pits. Waldo.
Yeah,
let's have a look. Let's go into the inner loop.
He's dropped it all on his own.
Yeah.
Just that.
That was close. That was Marvin Sluman, I think. Who, it was indeed. Marvin Sluman, he very nearly collected there. That was a little bit close.
There's a little bump there that you don't really want to be going on, because that happens.
That happens, yeah, very much so. So all 3 of our early pitters, Phil Reed, Alex Bennett, Luke Barton, back on track. No huge pit stops for them, all between 11 and 13 seconds. Alex Bennett may have had a little bit of damage as he was the slightly longer pitter there. but they're all doing a similar time. Here they come, the top. Oh wow, actually, with the exception of that 1 second gap, second to third, the top 7 are fairly compact, between 3/4 and half a second between them. Then a bit of a gap, Connor Ryan in 7th to Erka Lindstrom 8th. And again, fairly close quarters there. Marcel Fassbender, unsurprisingly, with the fastest lap, but he's got the Radicals Online number 10, Paul Ilbrink, all over his tail. They come.
Why they're going to try and maximise the speed?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where Ilbrink's going to try and exact his revenge on Marcel. He's got that slipstream again. I don't think he had quite the momentum that Marcel did last time around. Marcel staying to the inside line. Paul jumping out at the very, very last second, side by side into the inner loop, but no, doesn't choose to commit to that line. And through they go. Kessler and Summers have just swapped position. As Patrick Kessler, or was that Kessler and Ryan that swapped? No, it was Patrick Kessler because he was.
Yeah, Summers that got past Kessler on the inside of the inner loop, but it's put Connor Ryan into a great position to attack Patrick Kessler.
Very much so. Very nice move from Connor Ryan there. Outside of turn 6. Beautiful move. And up into 6th position for him. There is... Oh, Ilbrink. I wondered if Ilbrink had a problem there because it looked like he jumped out from the slipstream very early, but could just be biding his time and waiting for a better opportunity. Ooh, kicks up a bit of dust. Getting onto the grass on the exit of turn 8, but keeps that one under control. Now through 9. And piling on the pressure, that gap between Ilbrink and Osterkamp. Oh, Osterkamp now up into 3rd, so I suspect that gap is now going to shrink. No disrespect meant from Herman, but we do usually see Osterkamp chasing Marcel of the Sim RC lineup. Still very, very close. This will be the slipstream effect you were describing earlier, coming into its own somewhat.
And there you go, new fastest lap from Rennie Osterkamp. Yeah, it's the top 2 here could work together with the slipstream, and they could not quite and let each other go and pull each other along. But with Marcel and Rene being of similar team persuasion, you suspect that probably won't happen. What we got?
Sarah Dove's in trouble. What's her? Oh wow, she had a big moment at turn 1. And Connor Ryan's lost the position as well. We'll catch up with what happened to him. That'll be the bump. Oops, there she goes. And Connor Ryan lost position to Patrick Kessler. Was that just slipstream? Yeah, that'll be... Yeah, that's a slipstream move from Kessler on Connor Ryan. There it goes. And he gained... Yep.
What you need to do is do what Charlie's done, which is pull nearly a second over Patrick Kessler in the lap.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's what you got to do. You got to make your pass and go before they get a chance to do the same. And it's interesting to me that Paul hasn't been able to pass Marcel. Maybe they're running slightly different downforce levels or slightly different gearing ratios, but whatever Marcel's doing at the minute, it's working. Then again, Paul just might be binding his time.
Well, that was what I was thinking. I wonder if he is biding his time, but if he is, it's a risky move because he'll have Rennie Osterkamp bearing down on him. And Sarah's in trouble. Oh, Sarah's in big trouble. That's missing a rear wing.
Yeah, that's not how those.
Oh, wow. Huge spin down there at turn 7, and bang. That's going to be a hard day for her. Ilbrink gets the fastest lap back again with 35.8. Whoa! Wow, Paul. That was a long way out. But managed to get it back on track. Still no incidents for him. Actually, very clean across the incident board, minus a few drivers. So that is good to see. Here comes Ilbrink again. Jump out from Fassbender. Can't see much from there. So let's get on the chopper cam if we can.
Let's go the long way around.
Oh, backed out with the very last on that one.
And he nearly dropped it. He had to get on the brakes to save it. It's going to put him under a bit of pressure now from Rennie Osterkamp.
Yeah.
Being on that inside line, basically the same thing that happened to Aldo. It's that bump on the inside if you get too much. And he just got some grass on the inside of... on the outside, of turn 6 on the entry, so that's cost him a little bit more as well. So this is big playing into the hands of Marcel Fassbender.
Yeah, that's 1.2 seconds between Ilbrink and Fassbender now. And, oh, Butelaar's in trouble. What's happened to David Butelaar? The number 7 Sinsport News driver. Oh, just completely dropped it, coming into turn 6 and stays out of the way of everybody around him. So... not ideal for him, but yep, Osterkamp now right with Paul Ilbrink. Has completely changed the dynamic of the top 3, so they're still in their original positions, but now Marcel can just floor it without having to worry about where Paul's going to be. And of course now Rene is going to be wanting to do what he can for the SimRC guys. So he'll want to put as much pressure as he can on Ilbrink. As Herman is fending off Charlie Summers still for 4th position just behind them. Then 2 and a bit seconds back to Patrick Kessler, who still has Connor Ryan for company. So still a decent representation for the Radicals online crew. And that right behind him was Erka Lindström, searching a bit of off track there. That's turn 1, but still perfectly legal. No incident points for him.
Yeah, this is probably one of those races that there's going to be very, very few incident points unless there's any bumping and barging. We've got Rene Osterkamp piling a bit.
Oh, wow!
Oh,
Fastbender's gone. What? Wow, that was completely on his own.
Oh, he's going to be kicking himself.
Oh.
Yeah, bump in the middle of the corner.
Oh, and that was a heavy impact on the wall. I think you might have mentioned that bump.
You know, we're going to start giving that bump royalty fees.
Yeah.
And that's huge for the championship. Marcel Fassbender is 2nd overall at the minute, and he is ahead of Rene Osterkamp, which I staggers me. But yeah, he's only 36 points off Paul Imbrink at the top, and that is a huge blow. He's still going, but he's fighting with his car through every corner at the minute. Oof!
Yeah, I bet he is.
Lost it through turn 7.
7.
So yeah, he's going to be straight into the pits to try and get whatever he needs done to that car done.
Oh, look at that. That's not a happy car at all.
That's not going to be a quick fix, I don't think.
No.
You can only hope he can get back out there and try and salvage something, or prepare for the sprint race that follows this. Sideways through turn 9. Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself for that one, I think. Charlie Summers pressing the attack on Stefan Herman, as if Stimos these days couldn't get much worse.
Yeah. So Charlie Summers pressing Stefan Herman for that last podium spot. Connor Ryan right behind them on Patrick Kessler. Unsurprisingly, Marcel Fassbender is in the pits, and I suspect he's going to be there for a while. What can Connor Ryan do? He's jumped out the slipstream very early. I wonder if Connor is playing the tactical game here. He wants to maybe attack at the very, very last possible second. So he's not then leaving him set up for a counter-attack.
Yeah, it's like we said earlier, you've got to make sure you can pull away from the car ahead. If not, then there's no point you passing them, because they're just going to pass you, and you're going to pass them, and you're just going to lose time. So if you've got it, you need to do what Charlie's done, and just get up, go away, leave them, and get up after the road after the next guy. So we'll see.
We will see.
If I tried to understand a racing driver's mind, I wouldn't be here forever.
Sarah Dove still hasn't gone into the pits yet.
She's going out there with a car with no rear wing. Oh my god, that's going to be a hand.
I was going to say, surely she's past the pit. Well, there
there
she goes.
you go. This is the issue with this, is that I understand why she's probably trying, but you're just going to become a liability.
Yeah, and she's up to 12 incident points, so she's going to be disqualified soon. She's still parked in that gravel trap.
Yeah, I think she'll probably wait. Yeah, she's just waiting for everyone to go.
Everyone to go. I suspect... wow, Fastbender's back on track.
I am amazed. He was in there for a long time.
He was in there for 4 times longer than most people, but he is back on track. It was actually much quicker than I was expecting. I thought that would be fairly terminal, but...
We've got leader and for 3rd and 4th fighting as well.
Yeah.
Charlie Summers on the outside. Stefan Herman can't get it done, as Rennie was pressuring Paul Ilbrink through the inner loop.
He was indeed, but couldn't get the move done. Rennie remains in 2nd position. Connor still in 6th, and Charlie still in 4th. All very, very close to their respective quarries. There is Charlie chasing Stefan, and there is Connor chasing Kessler. So Rene's the black sheep of the SimRC lot, well, including Marcel is, but he's all the way down the back now. But in the sense that he's not the chased, he is the chaser for the lead. And interestingly, Ilbrink's managed to give himself a little bit of breathing space, so that could compromise Rene's ability to attack him next time around. Rene's certainly not playing the "I won't attack you just yet" tactic. He seems to be going for it, but then that is the race lead up there.
Absolutely, and you want to be in front as much as you can, I think, for a lot of people. Obviously, there's some benefits to not. If the guy in front is quicker, then you can just sit behind and take the the pace he's doing, and you make him do all the hard work. But sometimes it's easier to just be in front. You control the pace, you control when you pit, you don't have to watch behind you. So yeah, I like to see the varying lines, by the way, at turn 1. Some people still take a tight line even though it's the wide line is available. Charlie Summers putting huge pressure on Stefan Herman. He's going to be a lot closer, he's going to have a much better run up towards the inner loop now. He's going to have to go the long way around though.
He's not got it done. No, again, he felt the need to back out of that. Sarah still hasn't been in the pits, by the way. So she's determined to carry on going as long as she can with that very heavily wounded car. But, yeah, Charlie Summers, again, even with that great drive up through the S's onto that back straight, just could not get alongside enough to commit to the move to remain ahead, or get ahead, rather, of Stefan Herman. So, yeah. Interesting development there for Summers, but look at Ilbrink. He's got himself nearly a second on Osterkamp. So now Ilbrink seems to be rediscovering, or redeploying at least, that incredible qualifying pace that we saw him do. Oh, Sluman's round. Sluman's had a problem. Marvin Sluman from 11th. There we go. He also fallen victim of turn 6 and headbutted the wall whilst he was there. Front wing still on the car.
Turn 6 is an incredibly difficult corner. It's downhill, it's a long corner, and you don't really want to be careful.
Osterkamp! Final turn as well. Oh, both of us. Oh!
Yeah, grass on the 8th.
Oh, did he give out the wall? Oh!
Just about.
He was like, please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop. Oh, wow. It's even the greats are being caught out as, well, we rather saw with Marcel Fassbender. So another of this.
Go on.
I was going to say, the next MRC guy is in, but Rene doesn't have any damage to fix, so...
No, he's just taking with it being a short one. He's just go ahead and get that done.
There's Summers again. No, can't get that one done again, but Conor Ryan's having a crack at Kessler, coming into that same spot. No, again, Kessler manages to fend off Conor Ryan's advances. And
it's Christmas and New Year and birthday and Easter all come at once.
Osterkamp back out. Relatively short pit stops, under 11 seconds for him. He was stationary 4. He's back on track ahead of Phil Reed. There's Phil. Bearing in mind he pitted on lap 1. He was one of the 3 that did pit on lap 1. Marvin Sluman's coming out as well. So Phil's now got some company there. That is a battle for 11th position. Right behind them, Luke Barton. So the closest battle we have towards the top is Summers on the back of Stefan Herman. Paul Ilbrink now leads by 4.7 seconds from this pair. Then the next quarreling pair you just saw in that shot was Kessler and Ryan, and Osterkamp's round again!
Oh no, what's he done? Where is he?
What happened? I've gone back a little bit too far. Oh wow, Sluman's in the pit a long time after headbutting the wall. That's coming through the inner loop. Oh, he got very... Whoa! Nearly caught Phil Reed, and again Osterkamp voice hitting the wall. Oh, that was a...
At this point, he's going to get passed by Marcel. Marcel was in the pits for 40 seconds.
Oh, and I want to see that overtake happen. That was a Conor Ryan and Patrick Kessler side by side into turn 1. And Conor Ryan's got him. Oh, that was a little bit by surprise, I wonder, because he's been hanging back behind Kessler for so long, and Kessler's gone straight back at him on the S's, onto that back straight, and he's come back into 4th. So it was a great move by Conor. Oh, nearly bumped into the SimRC driver there, but unfortunately it's undone itself on that on the next run into the inner loop, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I'm surprised Conor didn't defend that.
Well, it's a very wide bit of track there, so there's only so much defending you can realistically do.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen Stefan Herman holding off Charlie Summers just by simply taking a slightly defensive line into the inner loop. It doesn't cost you too much to do that, to be honest. So
very true.
I'm surprised Conor went to the effort of making, although he's putting the pressure on right now, he's trying to sort something out in the back half of the lap. Through turn 8 up the hill towards turn 9. Turn 9's a horrible corner. It goes on forever, and there's that huge curve on the inside that you do not want to touch. And then the exit is so easy to drop it on. But yeah, he looks so much quicker in this part of the lap. So maybe he's just setting it all up here, and then I wonder if maybe this is a slightly different downforce level thing, and he's just got a little bit more here in this lap rather than on that big old straight which is also called the back straight, which is convenient.
Yeah, that is true. Sarah Dove is out. She's disconnected, I think,
Yep,
from
she
the
didn't
session.
get qualified.
Did or didn't?
She did not get started.
Didn't think she did. But Marvin Sleeman has not returned to the pits, to the track rather. It's 2.5 minutes he's been in there for, and I suspect that's where he's going to remain. Here is Conor Ryan once again, having a crack at Kessler. Is he going to jump to the inside? No. And Charlie Summers was also staying in the tyre tracks of Stefan Herman. Paul Ilbrink now around about 5 seconds ahead of this battle. Who else can we have a look at? Erkan Lindström is... whoa! As we just saw, actually, Ryan and Kessler side by side again coming through turn 6. As Conor Ryan is switching to every 9. He's being forced to the outside each time. And there is Erkan Lindström closing in on them.
Yeah, the last laps were 37.6 and 37.7 from Kessler and Ryan respectively. They're fighting so hard and it's just costing them time. They've got nearly 6 seconds behind Charlie Summers at this point.
Great
And
drive
yeah,
out of
Connor's
turn
got
7.
it,
Yeah, it's a brilliant drive out of turn 7 for Conor Ryan. But this is rather what we saw previously, where he got the move done at turn 1, and by the inner loop he was overtaken again. But
He's got a few corners to try and make a gap now, though.
But also, Erkan Lindström is closer to Kessler than Kessler is to Ryan. So suddenly, there's another incident. Final turn.
Kessler's bringing it in as well.
Oh, that's that inside curb. It's a very sharp apex, that one, and it has just spat him out. That's Evan Imre, I think. It
Charlie
is.
Summers, by the way, he's passing. He's side by side already through turn 4. But it's Stefan Herman. Stefan already again pinned himself to the inside line. He's not letting Charlie have that.
They're matched pretty much speed for speed along there, and it's along that point that Stefan Herman is able to get a greater top speed than Summers. Summers just, he must be running more wing because he just hits the free air. Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying earlier. He just hits the air and slows down. And Kessler is in the pits and is in there for a while. It's all considered.
Had damage then. Maybe that's why he was so slow, is if he had damage.
Yeah, it must have been because he's been in. Oops! There goes Herman. That's another one gone.
What is happening?
Everybody is struggling somewhat. So that's around turn 7. That's where Sarah Dove had a trouble, and the tail just let go.
Kept out of the wall, though.
He did. He recovered very quickly, actually.
He did.
And Waldo again. What? That's the inner loop. So just as he's coming into turn 5, that's exactly where he did it before.
He hit a different bump this time. He hit this one at the end.
He hit the wall this time.
He did hit the wall.
And he is recovered to the pits. That is his day done.
What a race. This
What? Yeah.
It's full of attrition that I did not expect.
Absolutely.
But everybody in the top 7 is still yet to pit. Everybody down is still circulating, having done their mandatory pit stop for now. No one. Go on.
In case you're wondering the noise in the background, my good lady has let the dogs out. And as I'm in the kitchen, that's a through to the back door. So, apologies for that. Daniel Morris is in. I don't think he's had an incident. I think he's just on his own there. That's a pretty quick. Wow, very quick stop. 6.5 seconds for him. Conor Ryan had a 6.7 stop, so very, very quick there. And that is Conor Ryan. Speaking of, round turn 1. Ooh, it's going to be a little bit close. Who's going to win out between Ryan and Morris? Oh, Conor Ryan was not having that. Straight through he went. And that leaves Daniel Morris for dead. So that's Conor then up to 7th.
Interesting where Phil Reed and Luke Martin have come out. Obviously, they pitted on lap 1 after their own issues, and they're only a couple of seconds behind Conor Ryan. Although Conor Ryan has just had his own little incident.
Oh, there goes Phil.
Oh, jeez. We should stop talking. We should stop.
It wouldn't make for a very interesting commentary. Damn you! Windows messages go away. So that's exactly the same. That's going to be the Waldo bump.
Let's not be naming it. For Paul Ilbrink just set a new fastest lap of the race, by the way.
He is pressing. I was just thinking as I was looking at his lap times, he is going for it. Charlie Summers is in the pits now. But Ilbrink still with 0 incidents on the board, and he is absolutely flying. Let's hope we don't see him come unstuck. Didn't Waldo end up with an incident or a bump or a hedge or something named after him?
Oh, he has a corner in Canada called Waldo's Wobble.
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
we named after him after he caused, quite frankly, the single biggest collision crash first lap incident we've ever seen back in the Formula 1 2.0 days. That's the one at the start of the reverse grid races. So yeah, we can't be naming him another corner.
No, that's true. Considering how many people
have
had
it's going to start affecting his ego. And we don't need that.
Oh dear, especially the amount of people that's had a problem there. It would be unfair to name it just after Mr. Waldo, who is doesn't look like he's returning to the track as he's been in the pits for over 3 minutes. Sluman has called it a day, unsurprisingly.
We do still have a battle on track. I know it's hard to believe with so many cars facing issues. But Alex Bennett and David Boutella are scrapping over 12th place at the minute. Yep. David behind us looks like he's got a bit of a run. I don't know if he's going to be close. Oh, it looks like he's gaining a lot. He will be close enough easily actually to have a look on the inside of the inner loop. Should be able to make that done. Easy, yes.
Yeah, the Frenchman's got that one done.
Yeah, Alex decided not to fight that one there.
Yeah, sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Luke Barton and Daniel Morris are still not that far apart. So Connor Ryan is at 1.3 ahead of them. There is the Radicals Online driver just going out of the shot. Erka Lindström is in. So choosing now to serve the pit stop. 15.5 minutes remaining of this race.
I think Team AOR Yellow would very much prefer it if the race was to be stopped.
Ended now. Third and fourth, I imagine they would.
So Knut Martinson and Evan Imre respectively. But unfortunately for them, like you say, we still have just over 15 minutes of race still to go. Lindström is back underway, so we'll see where he comes out. He should come out in relatively clear air, actually.
Connor Ryan is the next one down the road, and there he is, and there is Erka Lindström. Yeah, so comes out comfortably in 6th position, but Connor has been driving pretty quick, so we'll see if he's able to close in the gap to Erka Lindström, the SimSport News driver, number 98, and that is the gap. That is about 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds or so. So the only people not to have pitted then are the top 4, Ilbrink, Herman, Martinson and Imre, who are very fast spaced out at the moment. I don't mean they've taken drugs, I mean they're nowhere near each other on track. Unlike where we were earlier in the race, now there's only 5, I think, people that don't have any incidents on the board, which is Ilbrink, Martinson, Imre, Lindström and Bennett.
And I'd just like to point out that in the last 5 cars that are running, 3 of them are SimRC guys.
Oh,
what is happening?
Oh wow!
With Michael Fassbender still running, he's currently the last car racing on track.
Marcel.
Then Patrick, yep.
You said Michael.
That one. Michael's an actor, isn't he?
Yes.
Ignore me. So there's Marcel Fassbender running in last car on track at the minute, and then there's Patrick Kessler, Alex Bennett in 13th, battling with David Boutella, like you said, 12th, and then in 11th place, just outside the top 10, it's Randy Austin.
Wow. You wouldn't have put money on that result.
Nope. Not when one of them started 2nd, one of them started 5th, and the other started 4th.
4th, yeah. Wow. That's... Wow, I really didn't expect this kind of trouble from the Glen.
No, it's actually, compared to some of the circuits we go to, relatively easy track. It is one of those tracks that can punish you, and there are certain areas you need to be aware of, like the bump at the inner loop. And like I said earlier, there are some pretty mean curbs around here that will spit you off if you take them. So yeah, it's an old track, which is probably why it causes so much of a challenge sometimes. This
could seal the championship for Paul Ilbrink.
You make a good point.
Speaking of, he's in. But he had nearly 12 seconds of a gap between himself and Herman, so I don't think he's got a great deal to worry about. Connor Ryan is right on Erka Lindström's case now. Stefan Herman has come in, so the top 2 pitting at the same time. Will the AOR yellow guys come in? Nope, can he? So he's not going to quite lead the way, I don't think. Oh, yes, he is. And there, Evans followed him. So Knut Martinsen, your new race leader.
Now he wants to win the race.
Yeah, when Evan gets a second. Oh, no, Paul Hilbrink's beating him out. Oh, side by side through turn 2.
Evan's going for it though.
He's perfectly entitled to. And yeah, through into second goes Evan Imre.
Now they want to end it.
Yeah, are they gonna try and disconnect session or something? DDoS the server.
I don't think that'll work.
No.
I also don't think it'll take Paul Hilbrink too long to catch on past these two if they don't come in, but I suspect they'll both be in pretty soon anyway.
Oh, Phil Reed! Oh no, Phil! What's happened?
Missing half of the car.
Oh my goodness! Huge! Wow, he was actually airborne there. Let's see that again.
Bump on the
Bang!
grass.
Yeah. That's
And the barrier ate his side pod. Told you this track was mean.
Yeah. Wow, that changed quick.
Fortunately for some of these drivers, there is a sprint race that follows this not too long after, so they do have a chance to redeem themselves.
Or reduce the damage.
Or reduce the damage, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep, Canute's coming in, and so Evan is not. Evan wants to lead a lap.
Well, fair enough.
Much to Paul Hilbrink's annoyance, I suspect. Although he's got a big enough gap back to Charlie now, so I don't think he'll mind too much. He just doesn't want Evan or himself and Evan to have any issues.
So, new race leader, car number 147, Evan Imre for Team AOR Yellow.
Well, we've had so many different race leaders.
We have. Canutes are back underway again. And where's he going to reappear? There goes Connor Ryan. Here comes Daniel Morris.
It's going to be close between himself and Morris. Morris on the outside one, just returning the straight. He's going to go a long way around.
Yeah, Morris will have that. Yeah, Morris was already up to speed before Canute came out. So that is 8th position for Canute Martin, but he's right on Daniel Morris's case. So Evan now the only person not to have pitted.
And unfortunately for him, pit stops are mandatory in this race.
Yeah. Yeah, you may be an admin, but it doesn't exclude you from those rules, I'm afraid. And now, is Hilbrink could just sit there and wait for him to...
Evan is defending.
He's
entitled to.
He is entitled to. You could argue it's pointless, and actually they're both on 0 incident points, so they're probably going to want to hang on to that. But Paul doesn't have to pass him. Paul can just sit there and antagonise him if nothing else. Luke Barton, did something just happen to you? No, nothing's happened to you. You're carrying on. You're chasing... you just lost a position to Rennie Osterkamp. That's all that's happened there.
And Evan...
And he comes.
I think he just didn't want to be passed by Paul.
We could say he fended off the championship leader.
That he can. That he can.
There's Charlie Summers. So Charlie's now in second. Starting in 8th.
Second since Rene crashed.
Well, true, but he's always been chasing someone. He was with Stefan Herman for a long period of time, and he's now 4.1 ahead of him. So, a great effort from Charlie Summers.
Yeah, we've seen this flash of brilliance from Charlie a few times, but we've also seen a few little errors on Charlie's behalf that have cost him some good race results and some good positions. But on a day when everybody else seems to be having all of the incidents, he seems to be keeping it relatively clean.
And Evan slotted right behind Canute Martin. Lost a little bit of time to him, about 1.3 between the two AOR yellow cars, but remains behind his teammate in 8th position. Charlie Summers there in second, 7.7 behind Paul, but with 8 minutes on the clock, unless Paul Hilbrink falls off the road, that could well remain where it is. Stefan Herman now in third, 4.2, 4.3 or so behind Charlie, and 7 seconds ahead of Erka Lindström, who's got company from Connor Ryan. Now, this one is not going to be so easy for Connor to overcome. Their last lap, 5 thousandths of a second difference. Connor's slightly slower than Erka Lindström. So, and their fastest lap was about 3/10 in Connor's favour, but no idea when that was set. So, looks like Connor's going to have to fight for that 4th position.
Connor set his fastest lap on lap 16, and we are now on lap 21.
Well, it wasn't that long ago then. So, it's post-pit stop for Connor Ryan then. He's been pressing on.
And
go on.
Evan came out, by the way, just ahead of Rene Osterkamp. So he's now got someone else to defend from. His racing is certainly not over yet.
Marcel still down there in 14th, still 12.3 behind Kessler.
Yeah, he just lost so much time in the pits, and Kessler lost a lot as well.
Yeah, he did, just not as much.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Oster. Oh, is Evan getting out of the way? Oh, no, just a different line. I thought he was actually jumping to the inside line to let Rene through on the racing line. But you would imagine... Hey, we go.
I suspect this is going to be, I'm going to use you to try and catch my teammate.
Yes, I fully imagine that to be the case. So through into 8th position then for Rene Osterkamp. Oh, you were very... Oh, Evan disappeared for a second there. Rene was really challenging those apexes a little harder than I would expect, considering the troubles that we've had with those bumps. But he's pressing on nonetheless.
I've said it before, but and I'll say it again. Some of these great drivers just do not fear the track. You know, there was a race last season in Suzuka with Rene where he made a mistake in turn 1, and that's another very difficult corner to get right. And he made a mistake. He lost a load of time, load of positions. Next lap, back on it, full speed, no fear. Because they've just got to. That's how you become brilliant. And you own the track and you own what you're doing.
That's what differentiates the good from the great.
Or the merely capable. I mean.
Yeah, the winners and the also rans.
Yes.
Right, 5.5 minutes remain. We are 3-4 laps from the end, roughly, unless Paul slows down, which is highly unlikely. There is the gap, first to second, 8.1 seconds between the two now. Paul still regularly lapping in the sub 136, one of the few drivers to have actually achieved that.
Last lap he pulled half a second on Charlie Summers.
So he's not really relaxing at all. And fair enough, he's pressing on, wanting to assert his authority. Let's just hope he doesn't overdrive it and throw that into the wall. And so Charlie 2, Stefan 3. Urko's opened up a bit of a gap between himself and Connor Ryan, although by about 2/10 on the last lap. So Connor Ryan still has Urko in his sights. Urko doing a great job in keeping the gap between himself and the next Radicals Online car number 43. Daniel Morris has got Canute Martinson for company, about 1.6 between those two. But Canute has got Rene Osterkamp on him already. So damage limitation for the SimRC veteran. And unfortunately Evan wasn't able to hang on to the back of him, as that's now 1.7 between the two.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things that, in theory, is a brilliant idea. In practice, it's actually really difficult.
Yeah, trying to stay in the tyre...
They're faster than you for a reason.
Yeah.
You can only do so much.
Yeah, trying to stay in the tyre tracks of Rene Osterkamp is rather much like trying to ride a bull, I suspect. You can hang on all you like, but you'll be thrown out of it pretty damn quick.
It's sometimes a bit like trying to enter the Grand National on a donkey.
Seems like a good idea at the time.
The best intention, but highly optimistic at best.
Well, there is Osterkamp staring at the tail of Canute Martinson, jumps out from the slipstream, and I don't think Canute will be too surprised by that one. Through into 7th for Rene Osterkamp. 1.7 to close down, 3 minutes 10 to do it. Well, if anybody can, he can, but he's already had an argument with the wall in this race already. Which is, well, he didn't have an argument with the wall, he's had arguments with a few bumps, so he managed to avoid the wall by and large. But we'll see.
And grip on track. That's what he's had the most arguments with.
Yeah.
Dan Connor Ryan is going to make a little bit of time up on Erkel Lindstrom. Erkel's just made a bit of a mistake.
Yes, that's now right down to half a second, so he'll be getting some slipstream now off of the number 98 car of Erkel Lindstrom. There they are coming through turn 9. Can he maintain it though? 2 laps remain here at Watkins Glen in the feature race. 2.5 minutes on the clock. As a reminder, it's a timed race, not a lap count, although we can roughly see when the checkered flag will fall. And Paul Lilbrink will have the lap of the circuit 2 more times before it will do so. So there is Connor Ryan, and right behind you can see at the top of the shot was Daniel Morris, I think. Oh no, beg your pardon, we could see a long train of cars, but Osterkamp doing what he can to close in on Daniel Morris. He's got 2 laps left to close down 1.5 seconds, and Luke Barton is in again.
Ooh, that's not good this late on. Connor Ryan pulling out on the slipstream of Erka Lindstrom up towards the inner loop. He's got the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Erka made the corner though. That was a little bit of contact. Yeah, Erka carrying on. Connor carrying on. We'll see if
that could have got nasty.
That could have. And Erka did well there to because he committed to the corner, and sometimes it's easy to just bail and take the escape road. But he would have got a hefty slowdown penalty if he'd done that.
Yes. And he manages to remain on 0 incident points as well, even despite that particular moment. So
yeah, he did. They both did well there to avoid major damage after that little bit of contact. These open wheel cars are generally a little bit fragile. Who's Patrick Kessler caught up to? He's caught up to Alex Bennett, so he's not finished yet. He's only going to have 1 more lap or so to do it, though.
Indeed. Paul Elbrink has started the final lap. The checkered flag will fall before the Radicals Online number 10 gets back there. 9.6 seconds separates him and Charlie Summers now. Osterkamp is getting very close to Daniel Morris. It is going to be, I think, a very much do or die for Rene Osterkamp to gain that position. 7 tenths. And he was a full second quicker last time around, so it's certainly possible. We will keep an eye on that one. And also, as you say, Kessler on Bennett. Similar gap between them, about 6 tenths of a second. And Kessler is doing what he can to limit the damage that he's been under after his argument with the wall.
Is Morris going to defend? No, he's not. He's just going to let Rene have the inside. I never defended on the last lap. Morris clearly wants to just pick up the points and take the good result.
Yeah.
To finish 7th after starting 12th is not too shabby at all.
Not at all.
So I don't blame him. Well, I mean, I've still done it, but
Kessler on Bennett, and pretty simple move done way before they get to the braking point. Even done so much that Bennett could actually resume the racing line before they came through the inner loop. But your winner here in the feature race is going to be the Radicals Online number 10 of Paul Elbrink. Pole, fastest lap, and the flag. He's done the clean sweep. Very nicely done, Paul Elbrink. Nearly 10 seconds between himself and Charlie Summers. Literally 17 thousandths of a second short of being 10 seconds at one point. So Charlie Summers... Oh no, as the timing is just updated, it was over 10 seconds. What a stunning effort from Elbrink there. A great effort for Charlie as well. Stefan Herman started 3rd and remained such. Nicely done. Connor Ryan... So great haul of points for Radicals Online there. 1st and 4th there is Erka Lindstrom coming over the line in 5th. Rene Osterkamp is going to be in 6th position with Daniel Morris. 7, Canute 8. Evan 9. David Butala across the line in 10th. Kessler, as we saw, came past Alex Bennett on that back straight for 10th position, 11th position rather. There's my numbers are going slightly wrong, so I had 2 10th positions at one point. That was impressive. And
it happens.
Marcel Fassbender 13th. Oh dear.
What could have been?
What could have been indeed. And Luke Barton, the last running car, goes over the line to take 14th place. So, as a confirmation of the results, before any steward's intervention, should there be any, it is Elbrink, Summers, Herman, Ryan, Lindstrom, Osterkamp, Morris, Martinson, Imre, Butala, Kessler, Bennett, Fassbender, Barton, Reed. Well, those that didn't see the flag were Reed, Waldo, Sluman, and Dove. Oh, goodness. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a break now as we switch over to setting up the sprint race. We know the procedure by now, so it's going to be a one-shot qualifying for the sprint race coming up. So do come back to us, and we'll get this going as quickly as we can. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apex Online Racing iRacing Formula 3 League. We are back here at Watkins Glen for the qualifying for the sprint race. It is underway. They have got 5 minutes to get out there and... Oh, as David Butler introduces his car to the wall already. That's not a great way to do it. So they've got 5 minutes then to get their outlap, one-time lap done, and that will decide the grid for the sprint race. Mr. Stevie, you back with me, sir?
Definitely I am.
What a crazy race we had first time around.
Yeah, this track I just didn't think it was as hard as apparently it is. And these cars have got a bit of an issue with it, I think.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, I'm hoping, I hope we see a lot more. I mean, we only technically had like 3 or 4 drivers not finish the race. But we did have a lot of people have issues.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll have a few less issues and a lot more actual close races between each other rather than battling the track. But unfortunately, this is one of those old school tracks that punishes mistakes, and it has bumps on the tarmac and little things like that. Some drivers love the challenge of it. Others can't stand it. And I'm sure the jury will be out tonight.
Yes. Well, a couple of the drivers have not returned to us, so 16 drivers is how many we have this time around. As let's follow a lap around Marcel, who's just begun his lap. So as he uses as much track as he's allowed, coming through turn 1 into 2, and then starting the rise through the S's. The left-hander for 3. Still bouncing around through the long sweeping turn 4. He's got to get this right. Well, they all have to get it right, of course. Otherwise, they're going to be in for a tough time in the sprint race. Now into the inner loop, right as much of the apex as he dares. Whoa, he's gone. Oh, wow. We were on board with him when he went. So Marcel.
Ryan's just messed it up as well.
Oh, yeah. He's... that's turn 1. So
that's got it wrong immediately.
Yes, that's gone horribly wrong for him. Well, who are we going to have on the top spot then? How's Phil doing? His sprint race didn't go very well. His feature race rather didn't go very well. So he hasn't done his outlap yet. So he's going to get on with it.
Yeah. Really needs to get on with it.
There's Paul. There he is, coming down to turn 7. So he's in the midst of his time lap. Well, everybody is set for Phil Butler. Butler hit the wall quite hard on his outlap, so well, it depends on where he is, I guess. Will he have time to do it? Where's Phil? He is... he's coming around the penultimate corner, so yeah, he'll have time to, unless he has the most disastrous lap in the world. But he'll be ahead of Marcel and Connor at this rate, which is no mean feat in itself, to be fair. It's not going to leave him a lot of time, it'll leave him enough to get on the board. Alexander Waldo was the first one to set a time there, but Osterkamp comes over the line to take that pole spot. 1:35.562. Where's Paul? He's across the line. 1:35.4. He will take the 2. There he is. 1:35.488. Will take the new pole time from Rene Osterkamp. What about Alex Bennett? You're still halfway through the lap. Daniel Morris.
I wonder if Charlie Summers has made a mess of his lap. He has 1 incident point, or as it is.
Oh dear.
I don't know whether that's for his out lap or for this lap. But yeah, it's Phil Reed's got 1 as well. So that might.
Oh
he's
no!
On his lap, so that's Phil Reed.
He's gone.
He's carrying on with the lap. Let's see if Charlie actually goes up the grid with a time.
Charlie Summers.
He does. That was on his out lap by instant point. Then.
Ah,
he
so
jumps
4th.
Into 4th place.
36.2. Where's Phil Reed?
He's crashed.
Oh, yep. So, oh dear. Sarah Dove has died, but after her time was set, so she's barreled into the first turn. Alex Bennett jumps up to 5th.
Nice work.
Yeah. David Butler is still out there.
This was the only one still set up.
You are not going to finish that lap in 10 seconds.
No, I don't think he is. Actually, you're right. So 4 drivers failing to set a time then.
Wow. Connor Ryan, Marcel Fassbender, Phil Reed, or, real top names not setting a time. That is very unexpected. But your grid, it looks like so. Ilbrick again on that top spot with Osterkamp, Kessler, Summers, Bennett, Barton, Martinson, Morris, Emre, Dove, Lindstrom, Waldo, Fassbender, Reed, Ryan, and Butelaar.
Oof.
Yeah, that's all you can really say to that, isn't it?
If you're Marcel Fassbender, the only thing you can say is oof. I'm afraid.
Michael Fassbender may say the same.
And not in this circle.
No, I dare say. Well, yeah, I'm very lost for words. This is never good for a commentator at the best of times. But now I've driven Watkins Glen, not in iRacing. I don't drive in iRacing because I'm terrible. But I've driven it primarily in another Sims, obviously. But I've driven quite a number of laps. I know it's bumpy, but I'm just not expecting what we're seeing.
So,
am I naive?
I mean, I know it's a difficult track, and there are some areas where you need to catch you are aware that they can catch you out. You've just got to back off a little bit on those areas, and that's part of practice is learning where the limits is and where the bumps are and where you need to be careful and little things like that.
We didn't see this at Sebring, for goodness sake, and that's a horrendously bumpy place.
Yeah, Sebring is Bump City Central.
Yes.
All bumps are exported out of Sebring to the rest of the world.
They make the best bumps.
They do.
Goodness me. Just waiting for 3 more drivers to grid up, and then we'll get this race underway. Well, in 10 more seconds, ready or not, the race will begin. And just waiting for one more, Mr. Waldo. Where's Waldo? Come on.
It's usually upside down in a hedge.
Hey! Here we go then for the sprint race. It is time. As all the lights are on, it is time to wind them up and let them go. Let us see who's got... What a belting start there from, I think it was Luke Barton on Alex Bennett, a few rows back from the top. As we now filter through the first turn, let's see if there's going to be any dangerous going on. Few people wide, but no major incidents. I think everyone's made it through. Summers and Barton have swapped position. Well, lots of position swapping going on. That's still bringing Osterkamp further up. Can Rene string that one around the outside? Only 16 laps in the sprint race, 25 minutes long. And that is indeed Simarcy up to the top, and Kessler was having a look as well. Didn't manage to demote Paul Elbring any further, but that's Rene Osterkamp now up into the lead. But we know how powerful the slipstream is, as lots of people swapping position. Daniel Morris is really falling through the field this year. Oh dear.
He basically had the Luke Barton issue last from the feature races. He was on the outside of the inner loop, so he got a little bit on the grass and then he couldn't turn, so he ended up cutting the course, so he's had a little bit of a slowdown. But other than that, it's been clean. Waldo, though, side by side with Conor Ryan. Waldo just coming out on top of that. Conor Ryan obviously trying to recover from that awful qualifying. Marcel, I need to do it again then. Marcel Fassbender already up to 10th place. He's just past Eric Lindstrom.
Yep. So Phil Reed up to 12 and Conor Ryan in 14th at the moment as their recovery drive continues. There is the entire field near enough in that camera shot, looking down from turns 10 back to 9 as they sweep through that final turn. Rene Osterkamp leading by half a second, but we've seen how quickly that can change here at Watkins Glen. Paul Elbrink keeping him very much firmly in the sights, but Elbrink doesn't really need to push too hard and do anything too silly. He can bring that home on the podium, and it could still well be in contention, just tie up the championship with 1 round in hand. Fassbender is... that's Fassbender, Sarah Dove, Evan Imre, all very close together. Alex Bennett, I think, in there as well. And, Canoe Martin... Oh, look at that! That's an amazing 3-way going on there. That's Dove, Imre and Fassbender. Fassbender's boxed in behind Sarah Dove and next to Evan Imre. Couldn't get through there. And of course that's all for position, so they're perfectly entitled to defend that particular piece of ground. Here comes Fassbender trying to do an outside manoeuvre on Evan Imre. Coming into turn 6. No, Evan's got the inside line. Perfectly fine to try and fend off the Simarcy veteran. Here comes Fassbender again on the outside of turn 7. No, again, Evan Imre able to fend that one off. There's Phil Reed getting involved as well, right behind that particular battle. That's the nose of the AOR Orange Car 44. Evan holding onto that inside line, defending from Marcel, perfectly entitled to do so. And Phil Reed, look at the time on the inside, bit of a wobble on from Fastbender there. He couldn't quite hold the car, does fend off Phil Reed just about, but can Phil Reed try and dive on the inside of turn 9 alongside? Is he? No, he slots behind Marcel, but wow, a lot of fighting going on through the field as we invariably get in the sprint race. They don't have the luxury of time to play out a strategy, so through to start lap 3, Osterkamp leads Ilbrink. Once is over a second between Ilbrink and Kessler, second to third, but so much battling going on throughout the field.
Yep, and the gap up front is only 0.3 per second. Paul Ilbrink did technically set a faster lap last lap, but it was technically a dirty lap, and he's going for the lead right now, Rani defending. He's going to make Paul go the long way around if he wants it, and nope, Paul backs out of it. It's not worth going for that so early on in the race. He knows he's got one hand on the championship at the minute. Does not want to be throwing it away against someone that he's fighting it for, especially when his other rival is all the way down in 10th place.
Absolutely. Alex Bennett fought off Canoe Martinson at that very same point. So Alex hanging on to 6th position for Team Tepper. Nicely done. Phil Reed and Marcel fighting. Connor Ryan's in trouble. Connor Ryan's round. Oh, he's in the wall. What's happened to the Radicals Online 43? He's gone alongside Erka Lindstrom and he's dropped it on turn 6 and hit the wall. Oh, disaster for Connor Ryan. What a great shame for him, keeping up though with Ilbrink as he continues to chase Osterkamp. Castor is clear of Charlie Summers. Oh, go on.
Fassbender again, trying to put huge pressure on Evan Imre. Evan defending for all his might. It's just handing more and more time to those up front, and Fassbender's going to have a little look on the inside of the penultimate corner here. He should have this. Evan's not going to be able to turn in properly. He's not going to be on the racing line. It's actually going to leave him vulnerable to Phil Reed behind. Nope, just managed to slop in just in front.
That was the narrowest space that Evan Imre had to slot in there, but Phil Reed, I would imagine, saw that one coming. Oh, look at Ilbrink again, sizing up what he's going to do against Osterkamp, up through the S's once again. Connor Ryan is in the pits, unsurprisingly. That is the end of his race. And no, that's Fassbender! Fassbender's round. We'll have a look at him in a minute. There's Paul Ilbrink having a crack at the lead. Osterkamp's defending. They return to the racing line, and Fassbender is out. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Huge incident at turn 1. He's gone too wide, lost the car, done a Phil Reed, and crash. That was Saradov, I think.
Nope, hold on.
Oh, it was Alexander Waldo. Oh, my.
Who I think has actually escaped without damage.
Oh, Canute's round. Canute had an issue. Yep, that's exactly where several people lost it. That's Alex Bennett. He was racing there, hit the bump on the inside of the loop. Round he went, just avoids Saradov and avoids everybody else. So he manages to get going again. Oh my goodness, Fassbender is gone. Connor Ryan's rejoined actually, so he is he's 40.3 seconds behind Canute, who is 6 seconds behind everybody else. So Connor is still going, I'll give him that, but I doubt we'll see Marcel Fassbender again.
Yeah, if Paul thought his day couldn't get any better, it just did.
Well, indeed.
All Paul needs to do now is make sure he finishes ahead of René, and I think he's got it wrapped up.
I don't know what the actual point situation is, if somebody can do the maths for us.
Oh, Waldo's round! Oh, and that's Phil. No, it's Daniel J. Morris.
Daniel Morris.
Upside down. He's literally upside down on a tyre barrier.
Oh, yeah, there went Waldo. Oh! That was... Morris had nowhere to go. Absolutely no way he was avoiding that. Let's get a better angle of that. As Waldo's caught that inside line, he's gone round. It's Daniel Morris, no chance of avoiding that. And moral attrition going on in the race, and that's probably why Connor Ryan has chosen to rejoin. Oh, Evan Imre and Erka Lindstrom side by side down the back straight, and Erka Lindstrom up into 9th position.
Erka doing what Marcel couldn't.
Evan
Imre.
Ilbrink very close again to René Osterkamp. As Morris and Waldo both in the pits. It's unlikely we'll see Morris again. Waldo could come out potentially, but his car was pretty knackered, so it'll be surprising if he returns. Phil Reed very close to Sarah Dove. They're not teammates in this league. They are in the GTEs, but not here. So Sarah is potentially not going to let Phil go on that one. But Elbrink, just, even though he doesn't have to keep the pressure on, he certainly is. And we'll see how that pays off for him.
Absolutely. He's they're just building a gap. They've already got nearly 3 seconds over. Well, they have got 3 seconds over Patrick Kessler in third place. So this is just Paul either biding his time, waiting for the right moment. He's also known, he's seen and will have found out that Rene made his own mistakes, 2 of at least in the feature race. So he knows that Rene is vulnerable. He's not hugely comfortable here. And we've seen a lot of drivers, but Paul looks invincible here today, to be honest. He has been on another level.
Absolutely. I mean, we knew he was quick, we knew he was good, but generally the SimRC guys are the ones that hold all the cards. But Paul Elbrink for Radicals Online has very much put the cat amongst the pigeons there. As old Phil Reed side by side with Sarah Dove. I wonder either Sarah didn't have a good run up the hill through the S's or just jumped out of his way, because Sarah was on a slightly strange line there. And through into 7th then for Phil Reed. But Paul Elbrink still not able to get the move done past Rene Osterkamp for the lead at the moment. 3.3 seconds at the time. I've said that. It was 3.333. Nice to keep the OCD guys happy.
I appreciate that. We have a bit of a train forming now. They're behind Alex Bennett in 6th place. He's got Phil Reed, Sarah Dove, Oka Lindstrom and Evan Imrie all in a queue behind him.
Yeah, Phil Reed all...
Oh, look at this for the lead! Side by side for the lead through turns.
That's 8 and 9.
Turn 9. Yeah, it's going to be difficult on the outside. It's very bumpy. You don't want to hit that curb on the inside for Anders Rene.
He's hung on to the side by side. I thought he would actually slot behind Osterkamp there. He's still hung on to it. He's going to have to slot behind now. That was a valiant effort, but Elbrink is trying everything to get past Rene Osterkamp.
This is all set up. Oh, what? That was a strange line.
I wonder if I think he got slightly too wide and he caught the oversteer and decided to stay out there. Because that was
it didn't look like it. From the onboard, it looked like he just drove over to the right hand side of the track.
Odd.
Okay. He's championship leader. He knows what he's doing.
Who are we to question? Yeah, that was a very weird line. It's going to go on the nose of... Oh, wrong one. Oh, wow, there you go. He got the slipstream up to... I bet that's what he was doing. He didn't want to get too close to Osterkamp too quickly.
Oh! Round the outside.
Well played.
Although that was a little slightly wide at the exit of the inner loop. That can be pretty harsh for a corner in slowdown penalty.
He got one incident point for that, so...
looks like he's carrying on. It looks like he's okay with it.
Yeah. Damned if he's slowing down now, kind of thing. But yeah, I wonder whether that was why Paul took that strange line on the exit of the final turn, so he didn't catch Osterkamp too early. He wanted to get that run up the S's and onto that back straight, and that's exactly the move he's just pulled off.
And look at this, trying to break the toe to get Rene off his case. He doesn't want, you know, you've only got like half a lap or so before you're back in that same situation, and if you're within 7 or 8 tenths, they're coming.
Oh, he's wide, coming through 9. That's not going to help him, but it would see. I mean, it looked like he's had the pace over Rene Osterkamp, which is always a strange sentence to say, but of course that's all going to be slipstream enabled. So here they come again, roles reversed on that start-finish straight. Here comes Osterkamp. Is he going to try and make a move? Elbrink is expecting a move then as he sort of jinks out to the middle way before the braking zone, but no, Osterkamp's having none of that. Osterkamp's going to want to repeat the same move that's just been pulled on him, but of course all that has basically slashed the gap between Osterkamp and what is now Osterkamp and Kessler in half. That's now under 2 seconds, or about 2 seconds between the two. Here comes Osterkamp again. Oh, before he've even cut to the gearbox camera on Paul's car, Osterkamp's passed him and threw back up into the lead.
I think I know why it is. I think the SimRC guys are just running a little bit less downforce, and they're just running a little bit quicker in the straight, which is why I think Paul was. I think it's generally on tracks like this, running high downforce gets you a quicker lap time because you get it through the corners. However, in the race, it leaves you utterly vulnerable. It's the same thing. It's basically the old Red Bull syndrome. When they were running in F1, it's you put it on pole, you run away, awesome. You pit and come out in traffic, oh boy, you've had it. Tough afternoon. and I think that's where the slight differences is. And with this double race format, you get a second chance. Yeah. And if you know you're running slightly different to what everyone else is, it gives you an opportunity to fine tune and go, all right, maybe I ran a bit much. I'll tweak.
Butalar's had trouble down at turn 7. Oh, he ran wide on the exit, and he's headbutted the wall.
Well, I don't think the wall deserved that, to be honest. But,
Well,
you know.
we don't know what conversations preceded them.
It's true. It's true.
Maybe they've had a discussion of some kind. That was unsurprising. Rene Osterkamp getting the fastest lap after that great slipstream he had on the back straight. And again, Ilbrink looking to remind Osterkamp he is there.
I think that's what it is, though. I think that's why Paul was attacking so aggressively in that final half of the lap, was just trying to make sure that he put Rene off, because he knew it's going to be difficult to do in the obvious part of the track. And the thing is, now Paul's shown his cards.
Oh,
Ilbrink,
you had a very big four-wheel drift there, and he got an incident point for that. As Alex Bennett has just lost a position to Erka Lindström. That's Sarah Dove that's in that mixture. Phil Reed's up to 6th now, so he's gotten well clear of all of those. Luke Barton's not far off Charlie Summers, actually, as well. That's a battle for 4th, as Butelaar has been through the pits after that incident he's had, so he'll be probably keeping Connor Ryan company. Oh, Connor's actually gone through on David Butelaar, so Connor is getting another one. That's 12th.
I'll tell you why. I think in some races, with only 10 minutes still to go, I think drivers like Connor Ryan might have just gone and just stopped after the incident. Bear in mind, the gap at the top of the team's championship right now is 29 points.
There's every point counts.
And Sim RC.
Yeah.
And they need the points. So I think this is very much like, you get back out there and you go get points.
And considering one of the lead Sim RC drivers is out.
Exactly.
Oh, Sarah Dove again has had trouble. That's on turn 9. What's happened here? Oh, it's on the exit.
Yeah. Easily done.
Very easily done. So a little bit, not enough traction going on there. As,
a lot of power, not enough grip.
Whoa, that's nearly 9/10 of a second between Osterkamp and Ilbrink now. Paul.
The thing is, I think Paul's in a car that can, if he loses the slipstream, I think he can probably get back into it. Just because, like, we saw how much extra pace he was running in the feature race. You know, he could easily pull, half second a lap, easy, pretty much, over the rest of the field. Like we saw it in qualifying. So I don't think him dropping out of slipstream is going to be too much of an issue. It's if he's got damage from running over that curb that's going to be the kicker, I think. His last lap was half a second slower than Rene Osterkamp. But we'll see what he can do. What he can do in the remaining 10 minutes or so.
It was a nice battle shaping up in 4th position. Charlie Summers and Luke Barton. Luke chasing the 350 AOR blue car of Charlie Summers. Luke, I'm trying to remember, was it Zandvoort that Luke won? Luke did an absolute stormer.
Yes, sounds like it. That rings a bell.
I think it was Zandvoort. It was one it was the track I was less familiar with. No, was it Zandvoort?
Sounds like Zandvoort.
Yeah, it was Zandvoort.
That was where Marcel may have had the.
Oh, he died twice. Yes, but I mean that's Luke was an absolute godlike there. Yeah, he really was. In fairness, so that's what I was trying to remember. Grey faculties haven't given up on me completely just yet.
No, he's a race winner this season so far, and he's going to be difficult for him from here. But he's only 5 seconds off the lead, so anything's possible.
Anything is possible, certainly, with the kind of trials and tribulations we've already seen and saw in the last race as well. So, yeah, who knows what can happen. Again, another reason why it's always better to come back out on track unless you completely detonated your car, as Waldo, Morris and Fassbender have done.
I think it was more that Waldo detonated his own
and Morris's car. Yeah, that was.
But hey, I'm unbiased.
I mean, he was just unlucky. It was a simple mistake that Waldo made, in fairness, and not the only one to catch those very nasty apexes that will bite the car and bit him. And just Daniel Morris was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And exactly as you're saying, Ilbrink is closing back in on Osterkamp. He lost 3/10 last time around, but he's starting to close him back in again. So
it's going to be. Like you said at the start of this race, time is not on your side here. He's only got 5 laps or so to get this done if he wants to get the double feature and the sprint race wins and claim maximum points. He's got pole in both of them and he's got fastest lap in both of them.
Very true.
Because
No.
Rene actually has that by 3,000.
3,000ths of a second. But I wonder. I thought Paul had just got it. Then he gained 4 tenths or 3.5 tenths that time around. I wonder also whether Paul is going to want to leave it to the very last second to nail Osterkamp.
Yep. This racing is as much about tactics as it is absolutely flat out.
Oh, totally, yeah.
You know, it's as much a mental game as the physical game, and you can't choose one and not the other. You've got to. There's no point in being super fast on track and having the fastest car if you're just going to get out strategied and out-foxed.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
Charlie Summers. Oh, that's a big one. You and I are spotting the same names dropping through the field. Oh, wow!
The inside bump.
Oh,
okay, interesting.
And yeah, good luck braking when you're in midair.
It's a fun thing that you still press the brake.
Well,
they're not working, but you still press.
Well, the brakes they're just air brakes and not something these things are fitted with.
No.
Well,
they do have massive wings, but they don't really work like it would.
Not at that point. So that's Charlie Summers then. The
second team AOR car we've seen without a rear wing today.
Unfortunately so. He'll limp his way back to the pits. Well, he's still going. He hasn't recovered himself, so it's a shame.
He was more like an old Formula Ford than a Formula
yes,
3000.
And will slide just as well, I dare say.
Yeah. Well, they'll bring that within half a second now of running Osterkamp. The time is running down. Just over 5 minutes to go.
What did he gain?
I think you're right.
Yeah, another 4 tenths is what he gained that time. So, if he's doing what we're surmising he's doing, he's going to back off a little bit at some point. Probably not now. You'll want to close in a bit more on Osterkamp and try and pressure a mistake if nothing else. But then he's got to be careful he doesn't make one himself. We did see that he had to slow down very drastically through that inner loop a few laps ago. And Osterkamp is feeling the need to defend. So he is getting the pressure on him. Now right underneath the rear wing is Elbring, exactly as you called, Stevie. He has indeed got well within the slipstream range now. So that's going to force Osterkamp into the defensive lines he really doesn't want to be doing.
The thing is with Rene, it's easy to forget how formidable an opponent he is. Paul's really pushing the attack now, going into these corners. That's good as Paul wants to get these moves done. He wants to get it done right here, right now. He's trying to go on the outside. He's not quite done it. Side by side. Yes, he's done it. Lovely
What
stuff.
a move.
Go back up the inside. Yep.
No, he
forced him wide.
Yeah, Rene backed out of it. What a move by Paul Elbring. That started on the exit of turn 6 and ended on the run down to turn 8. What a cracking move from Elbring. But he's still got 3 odd laps to defend against Osterkamp, and Osterkamp very much left him for dead on that back straight when Rene returned to the lead. So if Paul has got something in reserve,
he's desperately trying to break the toe. He knows the toe is his biggest enemy, and there's really not a lot he can do.
No, indeed.
It's almost the adverse effect. And we saw it earlier. If you're tucked up right behind the back of the car in front, you don't really get that much of a benefit. But if you've got a few tenths back, you do get a good slingshot, and that's exactly what Rene is going to get right now.
Yep. That's looking back from the gearbox of Elbring. He's going to nail himself to the inside line, try and force Rene to the wider line. There goes the CMRC 29. Can Osterkamp do it? No, he's not going to be able to do it from there. And that's what Elbring's going to have to repeat time and time again. So that is a hard job for Elbring. I think he's done the move too soon. It's easy for me to say. But then it's the risk, isn't it? The later you leave it, the bigger the risk, as Charlie Summers has disconnected from the session. He is gone. Unsurprisingly, we won't be seeing him again.
The thing for Paul is he's defended that initial attack. Now he's got the rest of a lap to try and build that gap, and if he can get Rene out of slipstream range, I don't think Rene's got an answer for him. But we'll see. Strange things have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. But similarly, because he knows now the minimum gap he needs, considering Rene Osterkamp was right alongside him. If that gap was any smaller, he'd have nailed him. And that was about where the gap is now, I think.
Yep. But the other thing to consider as well is that these two are both very competitive racing drivers, but they are both fair and decent races. They're not going to do anything silly to take the lead. So they know there's the reasonable margin and a reasonable expectation of racing. So I think Paul knows that Rene isn't going to do anything silly if he gets an opportunity. Might go for an optimistic one with a probable result rather than one that's
a dangerous
got no hope in hell.
Yeah. Well, that gap is a bit bigger this time around.
Yeah.
So Rene's not going to be able to even draw alongside, let alone force a position. 2 laps remain here in the sprint race of Watkins Glen. We have 12 cars still remaining in this race. We have lost Charlie Summers, Marcel Fassbender, Daniel Morris and Alexander Waldo from this race as Paul Ilbrink continues to fend off Rene Osterkamp. Half a second between the two. Rene certainly has the pace, but does he have the downforce to be able to challenge the Radicals Online number 10? Paul started from pole again, as he did in the feature race. The fastest lap still in the hands of Osterkamp by that 0.003 of a second. That'll probably annoy Paul as well. So can Ilbrink get the clean sweep? Can he regain that fastest lap? He's going to have to press on like a complete lunatic to do it. He's got to beat 135.558. It was 36.111. Again, we're seeing quite a lot of the OCD appeasement figures. These lovely sequence of numbers. Always appreciated, drivers. We know you're actually trying to do it, not a case of it happens by accident.
Yes, it's the same thing when I say I love that a driver gets a lap time with a .000.
Yep. Because
ultimately the driver has absolutely no influence on that whatsoever. But on the flip side, they have all of the control. They just can't really measure it.
Well, yeah, that would be an extra level of skill. I need to gain 1,000 on my previous lap. Something silly.
It's always amazing to me.
Wow, that gap was 0.4 of a second when he got to the inner loop that time. So Ilbrink is now deploying everything he's got, and he's building the time lap on lap. The checkered flag will come out in 5 more seconds, so that it is do or die for Osterkamp, but he's too far back realistically unless Paul makes a mistake in this final half a lap through turn 7. Up the hill they come. And again, Ilbrink knows he just has to keep it clean. 0.6 of a second now between the two. Osterkamp's not going to dive from that far back, and Ilbrink knows it. So he's just got to keep it clean. He'll have to let the fastest lap go, and I'm sure he'll take that for the race win, double race win, with Fassbender being out of this one through turn 9 into 10. I would imagine Osterkamp knows there's no way through unless Paul flies off the road in these last 2 bends, considering he hasn't done that all day. He's not likely to do it now, but your winner, your double winner here in Watkins Glen, he looks quite happy about it, is Paul Ilbrink for Radicals Online, chased home by Rene Osterkamp. Patrick Kessler comes home in 3rd position, rounds out the podium. There's Luke Barton. Phil Reed started 14th up to 5th, a great recovery drive for him. And, inside the 35s as well. He was actually quicker than Ilbrink on that final lap.
Oh, close finish. Oh, Alex Bennett's just lost out to Evan Imre in the final corner. What happened there? I wonder if he was low on fuel, actually.
Yeah, it was a good half a second. Yeah, and he's gone.
He was out of fuel.
He was out of... Oh, no, Alex Bennett. What a shame.
Yeah. You could hear the car sputtering as he went to the line. He ran out a corner before.
Well, Evan Imre is capitalised on that, taking 7th position. Canute 9. Here comes Connor Ryan. He's up 5 from where he started. Over the line in 10th. Rather lonely race for him. There's David Butelar. He's been through the pits and comes home in 11th position. And Saradov has had a few arguments with the walls as well. It's very heavily dented front of that car. And limps over the line, or will do, after a couple more turns to take 12th position overall for AOR Purple. You can just hear how much he has to how much speed he has to bleed off because the car just won't turn as much as it needs to. So then, Paul Ilbrink once again taking home the win. Then it is Osterkamp, Kessler, Barton, Reed, Lindstrom, Imre, Bennett, Martinson, Ryan, Butelar, Dove. Those that didn't see the flag were Summers, Morris, Waldo and Fassbender.
I can't believe how much attrition we had.
Yeah, you and me both. That was
not ready for
pretty. That was pretty bonkers. Who wants to have a
double race winner in?
Most certainly so. Let me just grab what I need to here, and then we will get the interview underway. Do bear with me. Okay. Right. Hello once again, Paul Ilbrink. What a cracking performance from you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very pleased with it myself as well. I'm really happy to win twice in a week in a round, so that's the first for me, I think. So
And
very satisfied.
And with Marcel struggling somewhat, were you aware of Marcel's difficulties, or were you just pressing on for the top spot?
Well, I did notice he was in the pits in both races and stuff, so I noticed that, which was a massive help for me.
Did you have an inclination on where your setup was going to be strong against Rene, particularly in that second race? We were trying to kind of guess at what point you were going to press your attack to regain the lead. Obviously, Slipstream being as powerful as it was regularly demonstrated, or did you just seize the opportunity to gain the lead at the point that you did?
Well, when he overtook me, I sat behind him a bit, and already in the first race, I noticed that I think the yellow cars are like a little bit quicker on the straights, but I don't know. I put some extra work in the set this week, and it was like so good in the fast corners, and I made up quite a bit of time compared to them there. So, but in that second race, well, at first I sat behind him a little bit because I wanted to gap Kessler a little bit more, because once you start fighting you lose time, and I don't want another car involved again, like happened at Monza, I think, which cost me a spot there. So once the gap was there, I just like had a little look and overtook him, and then that last time was just like seizing the opportunity. Like I had such a good run, and I thought, well, I can better be in front than stay behind and never get in front again. So I just gave it a go, and luckily I managed to get a big enough gap that he couldn't close it back down again in time for the bus stop. So.
Well, just one more race to go now. All the pressure is gone, because I'm pretty sure that will make you insurmountable in points.
I don't know, actually. I did some math myself before this weekend, and to my surprise I found out I wasn't even leading at that point. I think Marshall had like a little bit more points when taking the drop weeks into account, like a couple more only.
Course, I forgot about those.
But I think he had a lead by 2 or 3 points over me, and Rene was only behind, I think, another 5 or 6 at most. So I knew I had to step up the game a lot more than the last couple of weeks. So I'm happy I did, and got a good result, and also from Connor in the first race. The second race not so much, but good point haul for the team, I think, and I'm looking forward to the final race.
Awesome stuff. Good luck for then. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Next.
Let's get Billy.
Mr. Reed.
Hello.
How are you doing?
You know, I've been better. I ran out of cake.
bit of an argument with the wall in the feature race.
I wouldn't really say much of an argument, more of a one-sided affair.
It did look quite a one-sided conversation, that one.
Yeah.
But what a recovery drive though in the sprint race. You must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I am, to be honest. I actually felt, even though I didn't quite get the result I wanted, obviously I was, hoping to get a better qualifying position than forgetting to qualify. But kind of. I mean, it was good pace. Like I think in the sprint race I had really good pace. You know, I was the only people that were faster than me were probably Paul and Rene in the sprint. So, you know, I was catching the group ahead. I was catching them quite rapidly. I just needed more laps.
Such is the nature of the sprint race, unfortunately. Looking forward to the final round?
Always, yeah. I mean, it's Laguna, I think it is.
Yes.
So, I think in the past I've gone quite well at Laguna. It takes me a while to get up to speed there, to start getting comfortable with chucking it into the corners without seeing where I'm going. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think yeah, I mean, but it's kind of been this whole season's kind of just been a case of driving around a bit and trying to get best of the rest, which I think I just overtook best of the rest, although I've got some points to drop at some point, whereas I think Stefan doesn't. So
well,
yeah,
good luck for Laguna Seca, and we look forward to chatting to you again.
yeah.
Mr. Imre is the only one that's wanting to have a chat to us, it would seem.
Let's get him in.
Hello, Evan.
Oh,
Well, some decent scraps for you this week.
yeah, taking advantage of people not turning up and crashing, and so really good points. First race, I just couldn't hang on to my teammate and ended up a second behind him, just like last week, which is annoying. And then sprint race was a lot more fun because I held up Fassbender, he just couldn't get past me.
Yeah, we saw that.
And then as soon as he got past, he binned it at turn one, so that was quite satisfying. Aye. And then I was kind of ninth, and clinging on to Martinson as well, and Sarah, but then Sarah binned it, and then Knut binned it, and then I was closing in on Alex at the end there, and he ran out of fuel just on the home straight, so picked up another position there.
Sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time and keeping your own car clean, which you certainly managed to do. I mean, the bumps looked pretty vicious out there. We saw the massive crash that Alex Waldo had with Daniel Morris by catching that inside apex quite hard. Is that something you were conscious of, or is it just something that you know you need to avoid and you concentrate on your own racing?
Well, the bumps, you kind of have to take them on the chin. Otherwise you're going to be off the racing line and whatever. There is a couple of really bad bumps for me anyway. There was, well, I mean, there's also one on the home straight, which was just annoying because it was in the middle of fifth and sixth gear as he were switching up, and it just made the revs jump up high. And then of course there's the chicane. The chicane was the worst. There was no grip at all on the chicane. There was grip every other corner, but chicane, of course, you've probably seen the most crashes there tonight. It was deadly.
Well, great effort there, Evan, and good luck for the final round.
Alright, cheers.
And that is going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you very much, Stevie, for joining me this week. A great pleasure, as always, to have you in the box with me.
You know, it's always a pleasure, and this was a lovely little treat. Yes, coming up on the iRacing broadcast side of things. Unfortunately, no stream on Monday because this gentleman has a prior agreement. So no GT League stream on Monday, but back on Friday with the finale of this season of the Formula 3000. And it is at, I have to say it as it is, a sponsored track. It is WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, also known as Laguna Seca. Yes, so, and I'm sure Simon will be back next week, I hope. So yeah, that's what's coming up.
Awesome. Plenty of other racing going on between then and now, so do come back to us for more AOR action. Thank you very much, and good night.